T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 10. 5.
All systems nominal. Stage 1 continues nominal performance. Engines remain steady. Attitude nominal. Max Q, attitude nominal.
First stage passing through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the rocket. 90 seconds into the flight. This first stage burns for a little over 3 minutes, 3 minutes 18 seconds until main engine cutoff.
About 90 seconds to stage 1 burnout. Attitude nominal. Engines at 100% and steady. T plus 2 minutes. All subsystems continue in nominal performance. All subsystems are nominal. We'll be ready to shift down to 80% on the engines at 170. Start of slow throttle down.
Throttling down at 3 minutes into the flight, main engine cutoff coming soon.
Throttle down to 55%. Main engine cutoff.
We have MECO. Antares entering into a coast stage. Fairing separation will occur about 30 seconds later. As we lose sight of the vehicle, now switching to animation. Some controlled firings on the interstage of the rocket.
Attitude nominal. Good separation. "20 seconds to stage 2 ignition. All subsystems nominal. Fairing separation. Interstage separation.
Confirmed fairing separation and interstage.
Stage 2 ignition.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed. Stage 2 is a solid rocket motor, burns for about 2 minutes 44 seconds.
Stage 2 will continue to burn for another approximately 2 minutes. Altitude 138 kilometers. Mission time, 300 seconds. Velocity, 4.8 kilometers per second. Altitude, 150 kilometers. All systems continue to perform nominally.
Good calls, 5 minutes 15 seconds into today's flight. .
Stage 2 motor pressure, nominal. Attitude nominal. Altitude is 170 kilometers, roughly 1 minute to stage 2 burnout. All stage 2 and GNC parameters continue to be nominal.
6 minutes, 15 seconds into the flight, coming up on stage 2 burnout of that solid rocket motor. That'll initiate a 2-minute coast period until second stage separation.
Stage 2 starting to tail off. Roughly 15 seconds to burnout. Stage 2 burnout, attitude nominal.
Stage 2 burnout, good attitude. We're in a coast period now. Cygnus exposed after that fairing separation and will continue to carry the second stage with it until about 9 minutes into the flight.
Attitude nominal. Attitude nominal. Expected attitude control system thruster firings received. Continuing on course. Roughly 1 minute to payload separation. Altitude 185 kilometers. Velocity 7.5 kilometers per second. All systems continue to operate as expected. Approximately 30 seconds to spacecraft separation. Attitude nominal. Systems continue to perform as expected. Attitude corrections maintaining expectations.
LCGSO, I just released red team to the pad.
Copy that.
Spacecraft separation.
Confirmed. 9 minutes into today's flight, Cygnus has separated from the second stage.
LC Ace, that concludes our callouts.
Copy that, Ace. Okay, NG-15, excellent job today. Let's go ahead and wrap up through this post-launch checklist. And Prop 1, can you report on status of pulse purging?
Pulse purging has just started.
Copy that. We'll check 430. And GNC1LC, when you have the Antares state factor to the Cygnus POC emailed and confirmed, give me a call back on step 431.
Copy and work.
From the Wallops Range Control Center in Wallops Island, Virginia, some celebratory fist bumps as they successfully delivered Cygnus into orbit, a 9-minute flight on top of Antares from Virginia Space's Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport into orbit. Cygnus now flying free. The SS Katherine Johnson in flight will make its 1.5-day journey, just a little shy of 2 days, to the International Space Station, arriving in the wee hours early morning on Monday, February 22nd.
Arm enable rotated, arm enable indication no longer illuminated.
Copy that, Ops 1. And Ops 1, disable your local launch enable button.
Ops 1, launch enable removed.
Flight controllers in Dulles, Virginia. Northrop Grumman's Mission Operations Center will take control of the Cygnus and monitor its approach to the International Space Station over the next couple of days. Solar array deployment coming in a couple of hours. Will be breaking before that, and we'll provide confirmation of that via our blog and social media. Before we depart with you today for our coverage of the launch of Northrop Grumman's CRS-15 mission to the International Space Station, we're bringing on Deputy Manager of the International Space Station Program, Kenny Todd, on with us to provide some remarks. Kenny, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Gary. Good morning. It's good to be with you.
Kenny, this launch comes ahead of a crew rotation and, of course, in the near term, some EVAs. From the perspective of the International Space Station Program, what is the significance of this mission, CRS-15?
Well, Gary, I mean, this particular mission has about 8,000 pounds of cargo coming to the space station, and roughly a third of it is going to be dedicated directly to utilization and science on board the station. And so, again, that's our bread and butter. That's what we're up there to do is really do the utilization and science that our commercial customers need, the things that we need to learn in order to go further into our solar system, our human research. And so we've got a lot of this flight that's dedicated to that kind of activity. In addition to that, we've got a little over a third of it that's dedicated just to basic vehicle systems maintenance hardware and some new technology that we're bringing on board. So again, as we look to go further away from low Earth orbit, the thing that we have to do is continue to learn about the systems that we're going to need, and the ISS provides a great platform for that. So we are launching some new hardware in the vehicle systems area that allow us to demonstrate some of this technology.
How were International Space Station operations? International Space Station operations. International Space Station operations.
On the day that it arrives, we've got some key science objectives that we want to get going in that first couple of days. So the first 2 or 3 days after it gets there, we'll be heavily and intensely focused on the science that we need to get up and running. Then shortly after that, merely 4 or 5 days after that, we'll be heavy into doing a set of EVA preps. We're at this point planning on going out to do an EVA in the possibly as early as next weekend. We've got a double EVA planned, and so we'll get busy on that as quick as we get the Cygnus, get the science up and going that came up in Cygnus, and then we'll be on to doing EVAs.
A lot coming up here in the near term. Kenny Todd, thank you so much for joining us here at the end of our launch coverage.
Thanks for having me, Gary. I appreciate it.
Again, we had a successful launch of Northrop Grumman's CRS-15 mission on time today, 12:36 and 49 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. You're getting a live look at the Mission Operations Center in Dulles, Virginia. Northrop Grumman flight controllers taking control of the vehicle and will monitor its approach to the International Space Station over the next near 2 days until it arrives in the early morning of February 22nd, Monday morning. Robotic operators Suichi Noguchi and Mike Hopkins aboard the International Space Station will be poised at the controls of the Canadarm2, the robotic arm of the station, ready to capture it when it arrives Monday morning. The Cygnus is in orbit right now, but its solar arrays are not deployed. We will be wrapping up our coverage and providing confirmation of that solar array deployment here in the next couple of hours, and that it is receiving power and well on its way to make that journey to the International Space Station. Our coverage on Monday morning will begin at 2 a.m. Central Time, 3 a.m. Eastern, to monitor the approach and capture of Cygnus and the 8,000 pounds of cargo inside of the vehicle, and we'll also be providing coverage of the installation process. Robotic operators on the ground will take control of the robotic arm and maneuver it into position on the nadir side of the International Space Station, the Unity module, where it will remain for the next several months into May before it departs with trash and science on board to be eventually burned up in the atmosphere. From Mission Control, Houston, and from all the teams that supported the launch, that'll wrap up our coverage of the CRS-15 mission today. We'll be with you again on Monday morning. Until then, this is Mission Control, Houston.